Welcome everyone to Taking Literacy Viral. Just to give you a heads up on the format of this session, it's a facilitated networking discussion, so really we encourage everyone to speak their mind. There's no wrong questions. Anything that's on your mind in terms of taking literacy viral? Yes? Oh, can everyone hear me now much better? All right, there we go. I tried to go without the microphone. I'm not really a microphone guy, but I guess we'll go with it. So my name's Mil Ryan. I'm the social marketing coordinator at Literacy Link South Central. The goal of my position is basically engaging our community on the topic of literacy through social activities. So for us, that's the use of contests, social media, and even the messaging of content. And my co-facilitator is Roseanne Harvey, so I will let her introduce herself.
I just need to do a little microphone adjustment here, height difference. So I'm Roseanne Harvey, and I am from the Quebec English Literacy Alliance in Montreal. I'm the social media manager for the QELA, and my responsibility includes basically creating a social media strategy and integrating it into our already existing communication strategy, building community, encouraging community engagement, mainly through our blog. Our strategy is really content-based, so we also have a Facebook fan page and a Twitter account as well, but the primary activity happens around our blog, so I'm in charge of developing content there and pushing it out into the world. So, and I'm also personally a blogger and a social media enthusiast, so it's fun to take what I've learned in my extracurricular life and apply it to my working life.
All right, so there's a little brief synopsis about the two of us. And so with this format, the way we're going to take this is we're going to really just throw out some icebreaker questions, and we're going to maybe give you a few ideas in terms of topics, in terms of how to take literacy viral and what's worked in the past, and let you guys take it from there. So let's start off with a few questions. How many people here use social media in their current work right now? Would anyone like to maybe talk about their experiences or how they use it and what terms? So I feel like I'm a teacher. I have to point someone out. You right there. All right.
I find that using social media can be really beneficial, but I find that people have a hard time getting on board with it because they're not sure of it.
Can you tell us a little bit about your organization and what tools you're using?
Sure. I work for Literacy Digital Central as well, and some of the things we use a wiki, we use a blog, shared calendars. With the Read a Book campaign, we use things like Twitter, Facebook, and so on and so on. So we use quite a few tools, but the issue is that we don't have anybody following them. So we need to figure out a way of making it a little bit more not user friendly. Like it's already user friendly. We just need to find a way to make people comfortable with it so that they're willing to participate.
Mm-hmm. Has anyone else run into that similar problem where they find that there's a difficulty in sort of the buy-in in social media? All right, right there.
We've not thought into it because we're a very small program,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm coming today to find out, this sounds awesome and wonderful, I'd love to get into it, but how many hours in a day can you sleep then? At this point, there is 24 hours in the job, right? Yeah. I'm wondering just how much time commitment would there be, like I heard you say, but nobody's following it. So then what is the point of getting into it if I'm not able to go back and see what people have written on the wall, how, tweets I might be getting. So there's my challenge in doing the buy-in.
Yeah, I think that's a really realistic obstacle, and I think it's something that other fields besides the literacy field are trying to figure out in terms of adopting social media. So in our case, we have that's my job basically. I'm the manager of that. So, but there are lots of ways to actually kind of integrate that. Like checking Twitter, right? Like it takes 2 minutes, not even that. It takes like a few seconds to make a quick tweet. And there are actually very little things that you can actually integrate into your kind of daily schedule and daily process quite quickly and instantaneously. So, but it's a matter of, I guess, prioritizing them or fitting them in. So does anybody else have experience with that? Did you want to say something?
My name's Asha. I work for agency like Post Canada. I run our
Yeah. And I've noticed that you guys have a really big Twitter following, hey, and a really big Facebook group. Can you maybe share a little bit about how you built that following and how it happened?
Sure, we have 1,400 and change followers. We've been doing this for about a year and a half, so it has taken a while. And I think what I found is that I've been very broad with what I speak about. I try and make it fairly interesting in terms of just educating people, literacy people. You know, it's not just about what we're doing and what UBC is all about. So just trying to make other people kind of interested in what we're speaking about and make it apply to other topics or other things.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted, I'm Robin from Frontier College up in Thunder Bay. I'm coordinating an adult ed program to get people their OSSD, their secondary school diploma. What are you guys finding with regards to the lack of those fundamental skills? Obviously, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, or that they're, for example, dependent on a certain level of not only actual literacy, but computer literacy as well. How are you managing that? Because that seems to be the one aspect in terms of taking literacy programs viral that's critical, is getting the information out to the people in the community who need it, rather than sort of the social activist side of the house, which can find the media, can find the information, has the tools to find the media in a million other ways. So I'm just curious how you manage that.
Will someone like to share their experiences with that, or have similar problems that they run into? All right. Well, I think with the literacy industry, you have to start off with who your audience is. Social media is a really hot topic for our industry just because it's very resource light, so to speak. It's just about manpower rather than financial investment. But at the end of the day, you have to start off at who your audience is. If social media is not an avenue that your audience listens to, then you need to, at the end of the day, you're trying to take a topic viral. So you got to be able to formulate a message that speaks to your audience. Just because you feed great content through social media doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to resonate with who you're trying to get the message out to. So I guess we can jump into, say, our first stream. Why would we take literacy viral? Does someone want to field that one, or their thoughts on why this is an important issue in terms of managing literacy campaigns? Sure.
I sat in on the marketing literacy session yesterday, and one of the topics that kept coming up over and over is how to get the message out to people who aren't necessarily forthcoming with the fact that they have literacy issues. So by taking it viral, it's sort of making it known to the general public and getting those people who maybe have hidden issues to realize, hey, this is not so bad. This is fun. People enjoy it. There's not so much stigma, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Yep.
I think too, we have amazing stories in literacy. And to me, more than anything, social media is about great stories. And we also have low budgets, and social media is great for organizations with low budgets. I just think actually nonprofits are putting literacy on the program for social media, especially for our wonderful stories.
No, definitely, I agree with that, and I think that it's a really powerful tool that's not fully being utilized in the whole nonprofit sector, basically.
Well, how many of you find a disconnect with your audience? Do you find that they just don't really understand your content or really understand your messaging? Does anyone really have any issues in terms of getting the word out? Is it just basically they know your name, or do they actually understand your concepts? Does anyone really have faced those sort of problems when running a viral campaign? A lot of successful campaigns out there.
No, I think there's a precursor to that. I think finding the audience is the challenge.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's getting the message out to the audience. I think finding the correct audience in a field like literacy for people who have literacy issues, that's where the challenge comes in. So
All right.
creating a message to one of those people is nearly impossible when you don't know who they are.
Yes?
I was going to say, just speaking from my own experience, that a lot of us are on the ground, either doing programs with people or whatever. So this, I know today listening to, whatever her name was, sorry, but I was like, wow, I'm so behind already in my tweeting literacy skills. You know, my 11-year-old daughter was doing the neighbor-to-neighbor thing this week, and I was asking her about it. She's like, oh, Mom, you know, I'll teach it to you later. And I'm thinking, wow, like I should have sat down and had her teach me right away because I'm already behind.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's not that, you know, marketing campaigns are great, we just don't have time to do it right now.
Yeah.
So we're here to maybe get started.
Sure. And with any campaign, much as Amanda mentioned, it begins with the audience. Given, as I mentioned before, that social media is sort of like a hot topic for this industry. A lot of people are just trying to jump in with sort of a Me Too attitude. And it should never start with the tool first. It's got to start with who you're trying to message out to. You got to know who your audience is. So, why don't we go into this topic? How many people have a clear idea of who their audience is, who they're trying to get the message out? If you had to pick a, yes? Huh? Yep. How is it? How do you define your audience? Do you have demographics completely laid out?
Aboriginals between the ages of 18 and 50, living in 5 specific communities. So it's pretty tight who have yet to complete their OSSD requirements.
Mm-hmm. And how much of your resources go towards that demographic? Would you say?
All of my resources.
Oh, okay.
That demographic. That's where I get my funding for.
All right. Does anyone else want to share on in terms of who they've identified for their audience? Yes?
We have sort of multiple audiences, right? Because we have our potential students who would come into our program, and we have programs in 2 different streams. So we would have English stream participants and deaf stream participants. And then we have people in the community who we want to give us money and participate in our fundraising efforts. We want them to know what we're doing and buy in. And then we have other funders and people who might potentially either partner with us or fund us at a higher level, and we want them to know too. So part of our challenge has been, where do we go first? What's the best tool to use with which audience? How do we figure that out?
Yes? Yep.
I'm Alison from the OLC. We don't work with learners per se, so a lot of our Twitter audiences are, we're trying to target businesses, labor groups, government people to kind of connect and say what we're doing per se. So yeah, I mean, I think we kind of struggle with the same thing about targeting different messages for different audiences and trying, when I tweet every day, I try to keep those different audiences in mind and put different tweets or Facebook messages that might attract them.
Does anyone run into the issue of, say, spreading yourself too thin? You have so many various demographics that I see a lot of nods going on. Does someone want to maybe share their experiences with finding it difficult to, touch a lot of bases? Yes, in the back?
I want to say as a receiver of tweets.
Sorry?
As a receiver of tweets and a sender of, Facebook messages, and we're about to start tweeting, I think sometimes we're bombarded. It's the same thing as getting too many emails.
Mm-hmm.
The tweets, we're getting too many tweets, and now I'm thinking, if I'm going to start sending tweets out to people, am I going to be just giving them too much more? Because there's some literacy organizations that are sending out way too much that just takes over your screen, and that's all you're getting. And so I don't want to be spreading myself out too thin too, or be bombarding the same audience on Facebook and Twitter and our website. I just find it's too much almost.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you're looking into... Oh, was someone continuing a point? No. With anytime you go into social media, the one thing is you don't want to spread yourself too thin. If you spread all your resources trying to tap as many audiences, you don't really connect with any of them. That's the key point where audience, yes?